and gentlemen, put your hands in the air.
Let's get ready to
This is UnCut Live, and I'm DJ Barbecue, powered by KBack.Rocks. Rock radio the way rock radio should be. Midwest All Pro Wrestling. Go to MidwestAllProWrestling.com. Get tickets and feel the excitement. Jekyll and Hyde Barbecue, our brothers from another mother. They make barbecue so good, they'll put a smile on your face. And Remedy Brewing Company. It's the remedy for what ails you. What's up, everybody? My name is DJ Barbecue. I am the host of UnCut Live. I decided to get on my live stream and do a little show. I'm already sitting at home anyway with my herniated disc, so I can only sit down and I can't really do much. I can't go to work, which sucks. Some of the can't really do anything other than kind of try to do stuff at home, take care of. And now the kid is here home because they have an extended spring break for the school systems, our school district. I just decided that I was going to come on here and kind of talk to people about what's going on. If you guys didn't know or haven't known, go to Wrestle Talk YouTube page. I just got done watching, support wrestling, screw coronavirus. It was an event that they did with No Fans Monday. Will Ospreay was versing Bay Priestley for the main event. I recommend you going to their page. Wrestle Talk Showcase was the actual event. It's well worth it. I'd recommend go watch it. I didn't even want that match to end. It was so good. The other matches were really great too. They're supposed to be Monday Night Raw. Talks from what I've heard is obviously people as they know now is that the show has been moved to the Performance Center. I think it was over the weekend when they gave the release out. Just to say one thing, I'm in my office / bedroom right now because I had to move some things around because my son needed to do some schoolwork in the actual other office. So I let him do that. I didn't want to bother him. I usually have my background put up, but I just got lazy today and didn't want to do that. So if you see this stuff in the background, yeah, whatever. I usually do stuff. I can do it in my bedroom too, if I need to be, just to seclude myself away, and I don't want to be downstairs in the office. And then I have a background, but I just said the heck with it. But anyway, Monday Night Raw is supposed to come on. This rumors has it they're going to do a little bit different. I know I seen a picture of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Happy 316 Day, and I would like to still say that it's Rusev Day, even though we haven't seen him for a while. I still like to say Rusev Day. Yes, I seen a post on Twitter that they had I guess you could say a tweet, that Stone Cold must have been flying on his private jet. Or on private jet to get there. So we should have him there on Monday Night Raw. It's going to be very interesting. Man, I can't believe that it's already 4:41 in the PM in the Midwest, in the Dakotas. I don't usually say that quite a bit where that I am from, but yes, I live in the Dakotas. I don't know how it is for everybody else, but just if anybody's watching this or if anybody notices that I'm on, go ahead and ask me some questions. Let's talk wrestling. Let's just try to do something. I do got to give a shout out to our boy, our friend, Yellow Dog. He was in the Retromania Wrestling Indie Mania tournament. He's from Texas, and he turned a negative into a positive, and I got to give a shout out to him. I think that was really cool what he decided to do, and kind of, like I said, turn a negative into a positive. As everybody knows, a lot of these independent pro wrestling shows are shutting down or canceling or postponing, and that's leaving a lot of independent wrestlers, without anything to do. Some of them have been very successful and haven't had a regular job because they can't do a regular job because they're too busy going to shows, entertaining us fans, and giving 100% to make sure that we are entertained. And then unfortunately right now with what's going on, they're not able to have work. So like I said, I was giving a shout out to Yellow Dog. He turned a negative into a positive, and there's not a lot of money coming in, obviously, because, they get paid, going to these events and traveling all over. Well, he decided to do a different thing, which was to come up with, hey, I'll do commercials. Here's a small fee. I will promote. I will cut promos. I will, do birthday, kind of like a cameo thing. He took the initiative and said, here's my PayPal. You give me this level of money, and he had a certain level of money for price for it. And I jumped on the deal. I had him do a commercial, to promote the Kota iRadio network, to do both shows. And it turned out real well. I tweaked it a little bit to add it to our little kind of commercial type theme for the Kota iRadio network, and it came out and worked. It worked pretty good, I would have to say. It's not like Hollywood movie quality, but hey, it does a great job. I like it. I do want to recommend everybody give us a follow, a like on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. You see the little hashtags, and then the little ats that you can find us on Twitter. If you look at and you see that there's a at Kota iRadio Network with WK, you can use those to find us on Twitter. That's that, and then Instagram is all lowercase, and then Facebook's the same thing. If you just use that same, you can get to all of them. There is an UnCut Live without the underscore in the middle of it on Instagram that you can go to find us. You can follow us there. I post a lot of things. Post some, memes. Everybody's into memes. I'm not into the inappropriate memes, but I do post memes. I usually drink some sparkling waters. I want to give a shout out to a new sparkling water company, which is AHA, which is AHA. Give a shout out to them. I tried their product. They recently just came around in our area. Very good if you like sparkling waters. I'll give a little kind of I guess you can say drink hack or food hack. If everybody doesn't like to drink or try pops because of the calorie count, because like this one is like 170, the sodium is 60 milligrams and all that, and you guys don't like sparkling waters, here's what I recommend you to do. Take the sparkling water, go get one of those little fruit drops that you drop into the water, or the packets, the powder packets that you pour in. Be careful when you do the powder packets, because there's kind of going to be a reaction with the sparkling water, and then it's going to fizz and then flow over. But if you get the drops, you can get it, you don't have to get the name brand, you get the store brand. They're all the same. Drop them in, and I will guarantee you they will taste just like pop. Use an open mind, try it. I've never had anybody be upset after they tried it when I recommended it. So that's just a little drink hack or food hack that you can use. Let's get back to wrestling. Like I said, Monday Night Raw is going to be at the Performance Center, like everybody else knows. I don't really have a lot of things prepared for this, so I apologize. So if you guys are watching, please don't, judge me too much. I just needed to get on the air to talk to somebody, to do something, because like I said, I have a herniated disc in my back, so I can't really do much. If you notice, I'm kind of leaning over a little bit, because right now in my comfortable chair, I'm comfortable right now. I shouldn't be leaning back. I should be sitting like this, but after a while, it kind of hurts. My back's not straight then if I do that. So if I lean, I'm actually sitting straight. It just doesn't look like that with the camera angle. I have the camera kind of up there. But wanted to get into a little detail here. I need to take my phone off the stand because I had that on listening to the radio earlier, doing some suggestion design. Working with somebody on that. Let's see here. I would like to... They had over on that Wrestle Talk showcase, a little kind of like a pay-per-view, and they kind of, made a negative into positive. It was No Fan Monday with the hashtag support wrestling, screw coronavirus. I thought it was pretty cool. They had over 11,000 people watching that, which was just awesome. I think it was great. I think it was a great idea, and I hope to see that happen more often. So there's a news flash that states and the dirt sheets, I don't care. Everybody else wants to go and they have to find work every once in a while, but Alberto Del Rio says he's close to WWE return, which is kind of interesting. That they would be picking other people up. But, there is that, tendency that if he doesn't go there, he's going to go somewhere else. So the news just happened that the NWA, National Wrestling Alliance, has to suspend the Crockett Cup and the NWA Power events because of the situation that's been going on. They put out a statement and a video with Joe, one of their hosts. It's a sad deal. But that's the one thing that I wanted to kind of get on here and express. With all of the cancellations and all the suspending on wrestling shows, we have a lot of independent wrestlers that are abroad that are, here in the States or wherever, what country that you're watching this is in. Please, I highly recommend. I know that a lot of people don't have jobs because some of their work is being canceled and postponed because of this. Some of them are actually able to work at home that have that availability. Then there's people that are still working. If you wanted to go to these wrestling events and you're upset and you get the refund because you can't go to the wrestling event, please, I recommend that you guys go find whatever your favorite superstar is. Independent wrestling superstar, because we support all independent wrestling. Go find their merchandise store. Go find their Patreon. If you can't afford some of the Patreon, I looked through a lot of wrestlers. There is one wrestler, she came from overseas, and then all of a sudden she had all these bookings that were booked up for a few weeks. Next thing you know, they've been canceled. So what did I do? Because I was discussing this with my son. I decided to go find one of them that I know that I would support, because I'd like to support all of them, but I don't have the money, and unfortunately, that's the case with a lot of people. But I decided to pick out one person that I agreed with and I looked through. I decided to pick one and I decided to go to their Patreon. Was it the biggest one? No. Was it the medium one? No. It was probably the smallest one that they had on there, but at least that's a little can go a long way. And if we all just at least pick maybe one or two or three, if we can afford it, pick that. It'll be appreciative. It'll keep people afloat. Come up with some ideas. Make some projects. Sell some things on there. See if you can generate money a little here, a little there. There's some things that you have that you know that you're not using. And this is not just with wrestlers, but if you can, even with the wrestlers, I recommend get creative on different ideas. I know you guys have Patreons and I know you have merchandise stores. If there's a way that you can see, if you can cut down on the price a little bit and generate to push out merchandise so more people are willing to buy. I know $20 doesn't seem like a lot, but right now we all have to work together. And I recommend that if you can like make up other Patreon parts, if you have a Patreon and you have a level that's at $10, make a $5 one. Make a $4 one. You know, if you have, even if you want to do $1, if you end up having $1 and you end up getting 1,000 people to be a Patreon on that dollar, that's $1,000 that you did not just have. I think it's worth it. If you had 100 people at $5 a piece, that's money that you didn't have before, but yet you generated it. I just recommend, and I know it's easier to say, I haven't been pushing our store out. I know I have a link that links everything else and push the store. I'm in a comfort zone, but I'm not really in a comfort zone. But I went through Boy Scouts. My dad was in the military. My grandfathers always told me, and my uncles and aunts always, well, especially my uncles, my aunts, always told me that you need to be prepared for anything. You know, for anything. Let's say the water breaks and then the water gets shut off for a while. You have to have that. So we've always had, especially with now that I've been a parent for over a decade, I've always bought a couple of cases of water and have it set to the side. I've always bought extra cases of pallets, and it's easier said than done, but there are stores out there. Not everything has to be name brand stores. And that's the thing. I do have on our title here that it's, you know, wrestling and music. I do talk about other things on this show. I'm not saying that I know it all, but I'm saying at least if you take the initiative and you give yourself other ideas to be able to do things to kind of make it. I know that a lot of people are panicking, and you don't need to panic. Just relax, take a deep breath. Everything will be fine. Everything will turn out fine. You just got to take the proper precautions. But like I was saying, like if you have stuff around the house and you don't use it, like I had a TV that I had for a couple years, and I know that I could probably get more than what I tried to sell it for. At this time of day, somebody might have that issue. They might have to where, you know, hey, their TV broke down and they need to find a new one and they don't have that much money. You know, I cut the price down, I put it on there, and it was sold. Now, am I, you know, messing myself up for selling it cheaper? Yeah, some people could say that, but, you know, at the same time, I got it sold. I got it on my house. Somebody else is happy. I still got money for it. It is a couple years old. It still is a great TV. It still worked. But that's taking the initiative to go out there and buy things that you can, you know, that you may not be able to afford, but then at least some other people can afford, and you can push it out. It's the same thing with me being in the restaurant business in the food industry in general, and for over for 20 some years. You know, you have to come up with creative ideas to like be able to sell stuff. You can't always hold on to things. And yes, you know, you can't always sell things under cost. But you just got to be creative on the ideas. You know, like there's a lot of times where people are more intent to come in and do stuff if you like have, and this is just for on the food industry side. If you're an owner of a store, of a restaurant, and you want to go, and now with the delivery, some places don't allow you to use your dine-in area. They've closed that off. And they recommend you, you know, fast foods and restaurants just have to go delivery, drive-through. Then get creative on it. See if sometimes it's easier because for like people that are just owning their own businesses, you can easily do this more than the others. But the thing is that you could do like, hey, kids 12 and under, eat free. Kids 13 and under, eat free. Or kids 14 and under have a certain price, cheap, you know, more cost efficient. And it makes them more encouraged to buy your stuff. Just had to look over at my puppy little Apple. Yeah, our dog's named Apple. She has like an apple core in the back of her neck. Yeah, she wants to get petted. But what I'm saying is that I know it's a hard time. Please support all the wrestlers. Just was, you know, rambling on, just giving ideas that you could do to sell different products. SmackDown was pretty interesting. We'll go back to wrestling. Was pretty interesting. I liked how, they adapted. They made a negative into a positive. They still did a show. They replayed one of the segments off their pay-per-view, which, some audiences didn't get the pay-per-view. Even though it's $9.99, they just don't watch wrestling enough to, buy the network. But they had a great idea for it. It was a good idea. There's going to be a lot of shows that are going to get canceled with wrestling and have no audiences. It's going to be interesting on Wednesday. What happens with AEW? They changed it to the Daily Place, which was supposed to be in Newark. But the arena, decided they had to close down and they can't have people in there because of their state's ruling. It's going to be interesting. Hopefully you can still support. Like I said, it's not going to be that difficult. You just got to stay calm. Right? Yep. Our puppy says stay calm. You still have Tuesday. You still have shows that will be able to be on Access TV like Impact Wrestling. You will still have MLW, who just had a show that they posted on Saturday night, which had Filthy Tommy Lawler, and Killer Cross on there. I recommend you watch that on MLW's YouTube channel, Major League Wrestling. Please support them. They do an excellent job. You will still have a couple more shows left of NWA Power, if I remember right. If not, you still have a library full of Season 1 and Season 2 that you could re-watch, get familiar. If you've forgotten, you haven't seen. I mean, they do a heck of a job on that. AEW Dark, I know, has at least one episode that they'll show tomorrow. Because if I remember right, because they had to record from last week. Well, that'll be really cool. And they probably will still be able to do that. They'll think of something else to be able to do with if they decided to have no audience. And I haven't seen anything that indicates that they are going to have no audience. But Monday Night Raw is tonight, and it's going to be interesting to see. And it's live from the Performance Center, so it's going to be interesting how they do that. If they change it up, what they're going to do, especially with Wrestlemania coming up. Right now, Wrestlemania hasn't been decided to cancel or delay. I personally think they should just delay it just to be safe than sorry. But here's the thing: they're still creative enough to change it up and to be able to make this into a positive. Even if they don't allow the fans to come in, they could make this very interesting. They could still do their performance and broadcast just like a studio. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people that were born in the late 90s, early 2000s, might not, because of all the streaming services and everything that we have, there's not a lot of sitcoms. Sitcoms were very popular before they started reality TV shows. There's a way that they could definitely get this. And get this turned into a positive with no fans. It could be just like any other studio taping, and we could do that. I know that SmackDown, they said that the ratings were up, and I don't like to talk about ratings, but I want to make a point. With the fact that they did not have an audience in attendance, and most of that is based by the fans there, and I know they're hurting, but if we still support all of wrestling, get away with the egos of having a war. There's no war. Support it all. Don't be judgmental at this point in time. We need to all work together and treat people, just treat people with respect. They could make this a very interesting idea with WrestleMania. Obviously, if you're paying $9.99 on the network, but others that don't have the network, they could still charge them if it's an idea if they wanted to, but don't charge an astronomical price. Obviously $9.99, but if they don't, they could still get people to watch. If you can't afford $9.99, here's my idea. If you can't have people afford $9.99 and you have to go to the Performance Center to put on a WrestleMania, let's say they do that. Let's say that they set that up and make it look like an old school set. I mean, they got enough sets in the stores that they can make it look like an old school interesting set. They could really make this interesting and get creative with their ideas and all the sets that they have and the facility that they have, they could utilize very well. If you don't have the $10, which comes out in certain places, has to pay sales tax, maybe make a little staple, a little price thing. And I don't know how it would work, but make some type of little lower level for certain individuals and see how it works. You'd have to figure out a way to do that without having people take advantage and be like, you know what, I'm not going to pay the 10. I'll just pay this one. It'd be interesting how they could figure that out, but, you know, they could come up with some ideas. They could get, this could be a very interesting WrestleMania. They could cancel fans being there. They could still put on the show because they have the studio. Now, that performance is big enough to put a studio show on. And that's how they used to do it back in the day. The NWA is a lot ahead of the times right now, going backwards and doing an old studio-wise. All these other promotions could really take advantage of that idea and kind of semi-piggyback on it for their own benefit for these next couple weeks. And do a show with the wrestlers there, with no fans there. They could easily do this, and I could see a positive coming out of this negative. Now, that's being said, I know I'm not going to be on here too much longer. I got to go take the dog outside. I know that it was just kind of rambling on. I haven't been really on here as much as I would like, but I just needed to get on and try to talk to somebody to get some things out that was on my mind. But please, if their shows are canceled anywhere and you're watching this, you come up with this during this time and you're searching YouTube and you see this big, crazy little guy, you know, big guy on here with the crazy thing supporting the independent wrestlers that are in the Midwest, and you see this, you know, check out our podcast, please. Check out our follow us, like our Facebook, you know, like our Twitter page, like our Instagram page. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel, please. We're coming up with some interesting interviews and stuff like that, too. If you want to just listen to podcasts, obviously go to our podcast. You just look up Kota iRadio Network. It's on the podcast platforms that you choose of. That's just an example down on the bottom there of some of the ones that we're on. Like CastBox, which is an iOS and Android app. We have Apple Podcasts, we have TuneIn, Spotify, Listen Notes, Google Play Music, and iHeartRadio. And yes, iHeartRadio is a podcast. Please just go to their Patreons, Facebook pages, their shops, you know, buy whatever you can buy. Just support them at this time. If we all stick and work together, we'll just be fine. And I say that to a lot of promotions, you know, especially the independent promotions. Support them and help them out during this time. Like I said, my name is DJ Barbecue, and this is UnCut live stream on our YouTube channel. People, take care. Be nice to everybody, and peace. I'm out.
Now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
I'm your DJ Barbecue.
It's done over 400 events.
Ooh, yeah.
5, 4, 3,
2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands in the air.
Let's get ready to rumble!
This is UnCut Live, and I'm DJ Barbecue. Powered by KBack.Rocks. Rock radio the way rock radio should be. Midwest All Pro Wrestling. Go to MidwestAllProWrestling.com. Get tickets and feel the excitement. Jekyll and Hyde Barbecue. Our brothers from another mother. They make barbecue so good, they'll put a smile on your face. And Remedy Brewing Company. It's the remedy for what ails you.